Brian Moorman sprinted for daylight in the 2006 Pro Bowl, and a split second later, Sean Taylor, all 6 feet 2 inches, 230 pounds with a sprinter's speed, blasted him into NFL history. This was the league's all-star showcase, but Taylor did not hold back. His hits turned fear into respect, and that one play cemented what legends and rivals already whispered. He was the hardest hitter the NFL ever feared. But how did a kid from Miami's Heat become the one man every opponent dreaded? To understand Sean Taylor's rise and the price he paid for greatness, you have to start at the very beginning. At Gulliver Prep, Sean Taylor was more than a standout. He was the engine that powered a team to heights nobody in Miami's private school circles had seen before. As a senior in the year 2000, he lined up at running back, defensive back, and even linebacker, never leaving the field unless the outcome was certain. Taylor rushed for over 1,300 yards and set a Florida record with 44 touchdowns, numbers that would have been impressive for a player focused on offense alone. But he didn't stop there. On defense, he racked up more than 100 tackles, blanketing receivers and crashing down on ball carriers with the same intensity that would later define his NFL career. Gulliver's only loss that year came in the game he missed. When the team needed him most, in the state championship against Mariana, Taylor scored 3 times and left with the game MVP trophy. He ran track too, winning the state 100-meter dash, and his coaches still talk about his work ethic. Showing up early, pushing teammates, never letting up. For the kids at Gulliver, Taylor was not just a star. He was the reason they believed they could win it all. That season, he gave them a title and set a new standard for what one player could mean to a team. Miami's locker room in 2001 was packed with future NFL stars: Ed Reed, Jonathan Vilma, Andre Johnson. Even in that crowd, Sean Taylor stood out. As a true freshman, he forced his way onto the field, one of only 4 to see playing time that year. Special teams became his first stage. Taylor made 26 tackles, 20 of them solo, and earned Big East Special Teams Player of the Week honors against Pittsburgh. His speed and size were impossible to ignore, even on a roster loaded with blue-chip talent. By his sophomore season, Taylor's role exploded. He started making plays that changed games: interceptions, tackles for loss, forced fumbles. By 2003, he was the Hurricanes' defensive anchor, unanimous All-American, Jack Tatum Award winner, and the nation's top defensive back. That year, he racked up 77 tackles, 10 interceptions, and 3 defensive touchdowns. Over his college career, he totaled 188 tackles, 14 picks, and 3 scores, numbers that put him among the best safeties in school history. Miami's 2001 national championship run put Taylor on the map, but it was his dominance through 2003 that made NFL scouts take notice. He thrived in a culture where every practice felt like Sunday, where competition was relentless and expectations never dipped. Teammates remember how he'd bait quarterbacks, then close the gap in a blink. Taylor didn't just survive among Miami's legends, he became one. By the time the 2004 draft rolled around, there was no doubt he was the most feared defensive back in the country, and the NFL was waiting. Draft night in 2004, Washington took a gamble that felt more like destiny. Sean Taylor, fresh off a college career that left scouts shaking their heads, went 5th overall, higher than any defensive back in franchise history. That pick was not just about numbers on paper. Clinton Portis, already a star in Washington and Taylor's former Miami teammate, pushed hard for it, telling the front office, "If we do not draft Sean, we are missing out." The front office listened. Taylor arrived at camp with a build that belonged on a linebacker, 6 feet 2 inches, 230 pounds, but moved like a cornerback. He wasted no time justifying the hype. In his very first preseason action, Taylor jumped a route and picked off a pass, then later snagged another one for a touchdown. By the end of his rookie season, he led the team in interceptions, even though he missed games. Joe Gibbs, back for his second stint as head coach, had just found the centerpiece for his defense. From the start, Taylor's presence was different. He didn't just fill a spot, he changed the energy of the entire secondary. Opponents noticed, so did everyone in that locker room. By the time Sean Taylor reached the National Football League, his reputation had already started to spread. But it was the 2006 Pro Bowl that turned whispers into warnings. On a fake punt, Bills punter Brian Moorman saw a crease and sprinted for the first down. Taylor closed the gap in a blink, launching himself into Moorman's chest and sending the punter airborne. The hit echoed across the field, clean but devastating, and the sideline erupted. That play didn't just become a highlight, it became a warning. Opposing receivers called Taylor a heat-seeking missile. Tight ends braced for impact. Running backs looked for detours. In player polls, his name topped the list of hardest hitters, even among veterans. Taylor didn't need trash talk. One look across the line, and opponents knew exactly what they were up against. He brought linebacker power with cornerback speed, and every snap felt like a dare. Come across the middle, if you're brave enough. NFL discipline came down hard and often. Sean Taylor's first summer as a pro ended with a $25,000 fine, the league's price for skipping the rookie symposium. The excuse didn't hold water, and the penalty was the largest ever handed down to a rookie for that offense. Then came the weekly pocket hits. Fines for late hits, for socks that didn't match, for refusing to wear league-mandated gear. Taylor and Clinton Portis once got docked a combined $25,000 for striped socks alone. Every infraction meant a letter from the league office, another reminder that Taylor's style was drawing more than just attention on Sundays. The most notorious moment came in January 2006. Ejected from a playoff game for spitting at Michael Pittman, then fined $17,000, the cost of his playoff check. Off the field, legal trouble followed him after a fight over stolen ATVs in Miami. The case dragged on for a year until June 2006, when Taylor accepted a plea deal, no contest to misdemeanor assault and battery, 18 months probation, and a string of school visits. The NFL tacked on a $72,000 fine, 4 game checks gone. The message was clear: play his way, and the cost would be steep. For Taylor, the line between passion and penalty was getting thinner by the week. Jackie was born in May 2006, and everything changed. Teammates started to notice a different Sean Taylor around the facility. One who stuck around after practice, who smiled more, who talked about his daughter every chance he got. Clinton Portis said it best: he was always happy, always talking about his child. That joy followed him onto the field. By the fall of 2007, Taylor was not just the most gifted athlete on the defense, he was its heart. Coaches made him a captain, and even the veterans listened when he spoke. The numbers backed it up. In just 9 games that season, Taylor picked off 5 passes, good for second most in the league, despite missing time with a knee injury. He was reading routes, baiting quarterbacks, and covering ground like no one else. Off the field, he would show up at local schools and talk to kids for hours, urging them not to waste their talent. For the first time, it looked like Taylor had found balance, family, football, and a future he wanted to protect. The drive that once made him reckless now made him reliable. He was playing the best football of his life, and everyone around him could feel it. November 26, 2007, the phone lines at Redskins Park went silent. News from Miami spread fast. Sean Taylor had been shot in his own home, a bullet severing his femoral artery as he tried to protect his family. He was just 24, sidelined by a knee injury, home with his fiancée and baby daughter when the break-in happened. Doctors fought through the night, but the damage was too much. By sunrise, Taylor was gone. The locker room emptied as players tried to make sense of it. Veterans wept, coaches struggled to find the words. Clinton Portis, who had lobbied for Taylor's draft, sat in stunned silence. The next Sunday, Washington took the field with just 10 men on defense, leaving Taylor's safety spot empty for the first play. His number, 21, appeared on every helmet, every jersey patch. The stadium fell quiet. For a team built around his energy, the absence was crushing. The NFL lost a player in his prime, a teammate lost a brother, and a family lost its heart. The season would go on, but something vital was missing. The hardest hitter in the league would never take the field again. Sean Taylor recorded 188 tackles and 14 interceptions at the University of Miami, then became a top 5 National Football League draft pick and a 2-time Pro Bowler with Washington. Teammates, coaches, and rivals consistently described him as the hardest hitter of his era, a rare blend of size, speed, and instinct. His 2006 Pro Bowl hit remains one of the most replayed moments in league history. Despite this, questions remain about how far his legacy might have reached if not for the events of November 26, 2007, when his life was cut short at age 24. Official records confirm the outpouring of tributes and the retirement of his number 21 jersey. Today, his highlight reels still inspire a generation of defensive backs, and his impact on the safety position is recognized in National Football League coaching clinics and player interviews. What cannot be measured is the full potential lost, but the evidence is clear. Sean Taylor changed the way the position is played, and his fearlessness endures in every hit remembered.